Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing about thermal military drones. My name is Jose Matthew T. Faldesgon from ECE1. So today I will be discussing about what are drones, what are thermal camera, what is thermal imaging, what is thermography, and some other researches about thermal military drones. So first, what are drones? So drones are unmanned aerial vehicles, and some of them has thermal camera and some doesn't. So they are used by military to spectate their enemies from afar because since it is unmanned, it does not need a pilot for it to fly. So drones, they are commonly used in military, and this it helps them feel secure, especially in a battle because they are able to spectate their enemies and see them from afar. Next. So here's the difference between a thermal drone and a non-thermal drone. So here in the right is a view of a non-thermal drone. So it just shows the realistic color of the area. Unlike here in the thermal drone, it separates the area with its temperature. Just like here, the blue ones is the colder ones and the red and yellow ones are the hotter ones. I will be discussing more about thermal imaging later. So here are some pictures of a drone. So here from the top right is a drone project of the FEU. So I will be discussing about it further. And here are the example of thermal cameras and other drones used for military. So here is an example of a non-thermal drone. So what is thermal camera? So thermal camera is the uh, one feature of a thermal drone wherein it is the one that captures and uh, processes the images to thermal images. So they are the ones that makes the blue colors and the yellow colors according to the temperature of the image. So thermal imaging is simply the process of converting infrared radiation or heat into visible images that depict the spatial distribution of temperature differences in a scene viewed by a thermal camera. So here's an example of a view of a thermal camera used in cattle scouting. So it helps in cattle scouting, especially on nighttime, because on nighttime we cannot the non-thermal drone cannot see the cows or the other livestock. Unlike here in the thermal camera, it shows the heat signature of the cows and it is easy for the owner to see if the livestock are safe. So thermography. What is thermography? So it is a non-invasive tool that uses infrared camera to produce images or thermograms that show the patterns of heat and blood flow on or near the surface of the body. So thermography is sometimes used in breast cancer screening. So I will discuss it more. So here, thermography uses a type of infrared technology that detects and records temperature changes on the surface of the skin. So, on the skin of a human, especially in the uh, breast cancers has hotter temperature, which helps the thermal camera or the thermal imaging detect where the cancer is and if the cancer is existing. So next, so It is also used for detecting muscular or skeletal, vascular, and nervous system irregularities. So these irregularities has higher temperature, and which means they are hotter, and it helps the doctors see about the irregularities of a human body. So here are the examples of a uh, thermal imaging in scanning breast cancer. So here, on the top right, we can see that there is a red portion in the other breast, wherein it is a breast cancer. So since it is red and the human body is yellowish or green, and the breast cancer has a hotter temperature, which makes it red in the thermal camera, which is which makes the doctors easy to detect. So, like I said earlier, I will be discussing more about the DWARM technologies from the FEU. So, Far Eastern University announces the rollout of Project DWARM, an artificial intelligence that uses thermal scanning and drones to detect possible coronavirus carriers. So, they published this drone on about March 31, 2020. So, they are planning to release this drone on SLEX or NLEX to scan possible suspects of coronavirus. So it will help them regulate the virus and or in checkpoints to see if there are coronavirus patients. So thermal camera really helps a lot, especially that it does not need a contact to a person to detect their temperature. Since in the camera, it will just separate the temperature in the image based on the color. So, like I said earlier, blue ones are the colder ones, and yellow or red are the hotter ones. So next, in this picture, this is the FEU students who built the drone that will be launched in the SLEX or NLEX to scan coronavirus patients. So here, I think they are making more six more drones to be used for scanning in SLEX and NLEX for the coronavirus disease. So here's an example of the scanner. So it detects the temperature of a person without having a contact near it. And that is how thermal imaging really helps nowadays. And since in this pandemic, a lot of establishments requires this kind of technology to be safe. So higher the temperature, there are it means there are more atoms in a specific area, such as these red spots. So which is why the thermal camera produces them red. So that's all, and here are my references from this research. Thank you, and God bless.